Grandma here, reading chapter 31. In chapter 30, the twins, Fred and Jeff, were attacked by Mr. Doom, and one of them got his arm broken. But meanwhile, they were able to steal a key out of his desk drawer, which went to the china cabinet where the carving is that Dave wants to get, that his dad made. They've also started to be gonifs on the bullies to prevent the bullies from eating their food. Chapter 31. When we got to our classroom after breakfast, Mr. Hillinger was putting a flute on Mr. Cluck's desk. I wondered what it was for. When we sat down, Mr. Hillinger walked around giving us boxes of colored chalk from a big paper bag. Good morning. You'll have to share the pastels, I'm afraid. Although it's not so, a limited palette is good. There were 8 sticks of chalk in the box Mike and I were supposed to share. The red chalk was in 2 pieces and the blue was a 1/2-inch nubbin. Today we're going to draw to show or feeling or mood. An artist can say he's angry or you only think you need words. It could be any feeling. He played 3 long, slow notes on the flute. How does that make you feel, boys? Nobody said anything. I raised my hand. Sad. Good, Dave. Anybody feel anything else? Harvey raised his hand. Definitely lazy. Good, too. Other boys may feel something else. I'll play. Remember what we've learned. Draw over the whole page. Composition is listen. He played more sad music. I stared at my stack of paper. I didn't know how to draw sadness. A face crying? How did you draw tears? Mike had gone to work already. He was drawing violins. And then I knew what to do. I held the purple chalk on its side and covered the page with purple. Mike had the black. I borrowed it and broke it in half. Now we both had black. From the right side of the page, I drew part of a long rectangle. The rest of it you had to imagine because it was off the page. I filled the rectangle in so it was solid black. To the left of it, I drew a man bent over from carrying his end of the box. You saw him from the side. I filled him in black too. Behind him came a woman. One of her feet was in the air so you could tell she was walking. She was following the man. The room was quiet. When did Mr. Hillinger stop playing? He started a happy song, but I kept drawing the sad one. I drew a boy following the woman. I swallowed around the lump in my throat. Another man came after the boy. None of them touched each other. That was important. Mr. Hillinger walked through the aisles while he played. He walked by me, drawing the first song. I kept going, rushing to catch up with everybody. I finished. 7 1/4 people followed the coffin. You only saw a hand and a leg of the 8th person all the way on the left side of the page. The people weren't much more than stick figures, but the picture was sad. I had never seen such a sad picture. I'd done it, drawn sadness. It felt grand. Sad, but grand. I took a new sheet of paper and tried to think what a happy drawing would be, but Mr. Hillinger stopped playing. Here's another, he looked at his watch. We have time for, take a new sheet, Eli. No more music. Here's a poem too. Draw whatever he recited. 'Twas brillig and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borough groves and the mom raws outgrabe. He went on. How are we supposed to draw that? It didn't mean anything. Some of the words meant something, and for a second I thought I understood, but then it was gone. There was a sun and some monsters and a jujube bird and a frumious bandersnatch, which sounded like an animal to sick on Mr. Doom. I drew a green lion with big twisty horns coming out of its mane, a red rabbit that was bigger than the lion, and a yellow goat upside down and high on the page. Around the animals, I drew shapes that fitted into each other. Mr. Hillinger came down our aisle. At my desk, he picked up my funeral picture and stared at it for a long time. When he put it down again, he said, Very nice, Dave. Fine. Mr. Hillinger, I took the drawing of Irma Lee out of my pocket and unfolded it. I messed up her face. How do you draw faces? I hated showing it to him. I hated to look at it with the stupid one eye in the wrong place. He studied the drawing. You like to draw? Yes, sir, I do. He raised his voice for everyone to hear. Listen, boys. You draw faces just like everything. They're no different. We shouldn't be frightened by a nose or a mouth. Be sure to bring your faces on Friday. You're going to do poor. He handed the messed up picture back to me without saying anything. He probably didn't want to hurt my feelings by talking about it. Now, hold up the drawing you like best, he told the class. You should see look at what your ideas you all. I held up the funeral picture. Everybody else held up their happy drawings. Joey's was food, a cake, an ice cream cone, and something that might have been a chicken. Eli had drawn a lake with a sailboat. Mike's was pink, blue, and orange guess what's? Violin. I liked Harvey's, which was a smile that filled the whole page. I didn't tell him, though. He had something to say about mine, of course. You shouldn't have colored the background purple. There should be trees or houses. The smile you drew is too big, Mike said, sticking up for me, and it's too. Mr. Cluck came in. Boys, Mr. Hillinger said, show Mr. Gluck aren't they hands? You must be so proud, too. Mr. Cluck bustled to the front of the room. Ira and Joy raised their hands to go to the toilet. It was their turn to watch Mr. Doom's office. I'd forgotten all about it. Mr. Hillinger started collecting our blank paper and chalk. Save your drawings, boys. You can. Mr. Gluck, may I borrow Dave he can help me? He gestured. I knew he wanted me to help him get the chalk and the paper. Mr. Cluck said, all right, if he's any help. Mr. Hillinger had gotten almost everything ready, but I walked along the desk by the window and picked up the rest. Now, if you'll, I put the chalk and paper into the paper bag. Mr. Hillinger picked up the bag. Would you be so? I took the flute and followed him into the hall, out to the lobby, where Ira and Joy were walking quickly, looking like they were on an important errand, except when they saw Mr. Hillinger, who knew they were supposed to be going to the toilet. Ira stopped. Joy slowed down, then grabbed Ira's arm and tagged him along. Hello, boys. Mr. Hillinger smiled at them and kept going till we reached the front door. Dave, would you, on Thursdays, it would mean missing school, just an afternoon. Everyone is talented, but I wouldn't mind missing the whole week, but what did he mean? A few. Such ability. I teach a few boys. It's a special. I started nodding. If he was saying he had a special drawing class, I wanted to be in it. Yes, I said, for drawing, I'd like to. I sounded as jumbled as he did. He smiled broadly. Wonderful. It's not just, we paint too. Oils, watercolor. He took the flute from me. I'm so glad. You have, he opened the HHB door. Finish the sentence, I thought. Finish it. What do I have? A gift. He left. Wow, that's big for a boy like Dave to be told that he has a gift and that gift is drawing art like his father's. I don't know how he could turn it down. No, I don't even know how he could leave the HHB. But if he steals that carving, he'll have to leave the HHB. Well, we'll see what happens in the next chapter. Bye-bye.